together on this little short film with this incredible artist named Daniel Ashram.
Yes.
And I just wanted to tell them what my experience was. We sort of had to wing it. I had gotten the material like a couple hours before I arrived. We have to play husband and wife in the future. A lot of acting stuff. Where you're bluffing. But what I found immediately and what's in all your performances is this incredible resonance, this stillness and depth that I've seen in working with De Niro. He has the same thing where it makes you better. Like by being in your presence, I feel like you become more true and more present. Wow. And it made it a little, I was very nervous and you made it feel easy.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
You, I was really nervous and excited to work with you. And I was shooting that while I was shooting Moonlight.
Oh.
I did that. That's one of the things I
What weren't you shooting while you were making this movie?
You
did Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, House of Cards, Future Relic, and Moonlight. So it was that I was working on all of those for about 4 weeks. They were overlapping for that period of time. So every day I was somewhere working on one of those 4 projects.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are a wanted man. That's good. I'm glad you
But
delivered.
I enjoyed working with you in that and want to do more on that project.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about later.
Yes. There's so many things I wanted to ask about, because this movie, it's so rare that you see a perfect synergy of the cinematography, the music, the acting, and it's so beautiful. And I was curious about the preparation. Like when you first received this script, what was that like for you? Could you tell this was a diamond?
Yeah, I could. Excuse me. I could. It's that feeling you want, when you pick up a script and you feel like even if they didn't write it for you, you go, this is for me, And I just so happened to get cast in this one. But the first time I read the script, and everyone would tell you the same thing, like we were really having an emotional reaction to this piece in a way in which I feel like in seeing the film, I connected to Chiron and just his journey and his pain, just from the outside, following this young man go throughout his journey. I think I connected to it as much on the page as I did in watching it. But yeah, it was. I had a really strong reaction to it, and I got to talk to Barry. We Skyped, and I was in New York. He was in Miami in pre-production, and we just started talking about the project and Juan in particular, the character, and it was just kind of one of those things where every now and then there are directors you connect to, and they feel like family, and you're finishing each other's sentences. And I just think we were just both geeked on the other side of the monitor, just smiling at each other and finishing each other's sentences. But it was right away like we really clicked, and so yeah, and it was pretty much smooth sailing while we worked on it within the world of indie film, when you literally have no money and you're sharing trailers and can you turn around so I get dressed, and like that kind of situation.
That's amazing, because it's so incredible. So you don't know all that goes on behind the scenes with the 15-hour days. And what I wanted to ask is it's so fascinating, the complexity you embody in a archetype, in a drug dealer, the humanity, and this ease and elegance. And I was wondering if he was inspired by someone you knew.
I think in some ways when you read something, you can just, I call it hearing the character. You can just read it and you can hear him somewhere. And I think I could do that and didn't have to work particularly hard to find someone to compare him to so that I could kind of go, oh yeah, I believe this guy is real, like on the page.
Right.
Because I had grown up and been around several people who, and have family, you know, some are in the system to this day, or in prison, and some will never get out. But I just knew people who for the most part were good folks, good people, didn't grow up having a lot of options. Sometimes it's just people who are just trying to put a little food on the table, you know, or in the classroom, there's like 40, 50 people in some of these classrooms, and like you're sharing books and stuff. Like when you go into certain communities, it's very difficult to totally embrace and understand, even if it's there for the taking. For certain communities you come from, it's very difficult to understand the value of an education, because education is investment. And when you live check to check, it's very difficult to understand in a real way what it means to invest in education and how that pays off 15 years from now, you know? And so you have guys, you have people, it's true, yeah, thank you. And you know, so you have folks who are living week to week and going, look, I gotta pay this bill right now, and do it how they do it. And so I've never been one to look at someone who does something like that with a lot of judgment, per se, as, if anything, just curiosity on, well, how'd that person get there? You know, like one of my good friends growing up, I didn't know until after high school that the whole time I knew him, he lived in a crack house. And we were cool and really played on teams together and traveled together and did several things together. We're pretty tight. I never went in his house. That was kind of off limits. It's nothing we talked about. But basically his mom was a drug dealer and took care of him as best she could. And that's what it was. And so I grew up around folks like that. So I think I just drew from